It has to be achieved through a genuine and sustained reduction in violence, as well as unfettered humanitarian access that is unmistakable to everyone. And the only way to achieve that is if the ones who have the air power in this part of the conflict simply stop using it.
The twist of that, though, as Murad Gaziev explains next, is that the no-fly zone over Syria mentioned by the Secretary of State there isn't set to apply to the US-led coalition.
They tried sanctioning Syria. Didn't work. They tried arming rebels and jihadists. It didn't work. They tried bombing Assad. The people said no, but that hasn't stopped them from trying.
We must move forward to try to immediately ground all aircraft flying in those key areas.
If the ceasefire is to have any chance at all, there needs to be a ban on all military flights over Syria for a limited period.
A no-fly zone. Do you remember the last time they pulled that one off?
You would get rid of a dictator and you would choose freedom.
We came, we saw, he died.
Mission accomplished. Never mind that Libya is now a chaotic, savage hellhole mired in endless civil war and terror. Painful lesson, right?
Assad has to go.
It's time for Assad to get out of the way.
It is time for you to go.
The future of Syria can't include Assad.
Political transition to a new government without Bashar Assad.
You get the feeling that they want to try again, but how are they going to do it with a no-fly zone?
I would not agree that coalition aircraft ought to be grounded. I do agree that Syrian regime aircraft and Russian aircraft should be grounded.
Ah, there it is, the catch. They don't want a no-fly zone. They want a we fly, but you don't zone. They're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Those countries would have us believe they seek to maintain the sovereignty and independence of peoples. We would like to believe that these countries want to work for peace and security in the world and protect peoples. They have instead resorted to aggressive wars and hostile behavior.
And the big question here is the West doing this for the sake of ordinary Syrians or because it wants to get rid of Assad?
Furthermore, it's been stated that stopping Russian airstrikes could actually help the terrorists gain ground in Syria. The Russian air campaign targets UN blacklisted groups like Islamic State, like al-Nusra, both of which have been losing territory in the war-torn country of late. Russia's foreign minister also expressed his concerns about a possible no-fly zone being introduced.
Some of our partners tried to insist that the Syrian government take unilateral steps, but we insist that the opposition also takes action to prevent al-Nusra and ISIL from using this situation to their advantage.
This week, spats between Moscow and Washington have cast a real shadow over the UN General Assembly this year. RT's Ilya Petrenko has been following the latest developments in New York for us.
Relations greatly soared right before this busy UNGA week with the devastating attack on a UN humanitarian convoy near Aleppo. Now, Russia and Syria have been under enormous pressure. The U.S. openly blamed them for the atrocity, despite not providing any kind of proof for that.
I want to share some facts with you this morning. On Monday, 20 aid workers were killed in an outrageous, sustained, 2-hour attack directed at a fully authorized humanitarian mission near Aleppo. Those are facts.
I don't have the facts. No doubt in my mind that the Russians are responsible.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts.
Now, the Russian military strongly denies having anything to do with that attack. No wonder that the Russian military aren't big fans of such comments by the U.S. State Department and the Pentagon. Here's a quote from the Russian army spokesperson.
If the combat operations and presidential reports are also planned based on personal opinions rather than verified intelligence, Should we be surprised by the regular failures and mistakes of the US military, which caused the deaths of hundreds of innocent people worldwide?